Hello, honorable members of the clan. So, guys, let's go to Bloemfontein. Guys, this case, it's what started all of this. It started it all because I was doing some other things on this channel. And then when I covered the Thabo Bester escape from Mangaung Maximum Facility, y'all were like, okay, thank you for the Thabo Bester. We appreciate it. And we think we like what you are doing. Can you please do the Senzo Meyiwa trial that is coming up in June? Remember? It was 2023, and the Thabo Bester matter happened around April, I think. And you were like, no, we would like to hear more from you when it comes to the Senzo Mewa in June. And I was like, okay. But I never wanted to abandon the Thabo Bester because for me, I would say it's my lucky charm. I think so. I think I can say that. But other than that, guys, let's go to what happened today at the Bloemfontein High Court, where Thabo Bester and 9 other people appeared. One of them actually walked free, and we'll talk about that one. Now, as you already know, guys, Thabo Bester is a convicted Ma'ara, as well as a person that forces himself onto women. He would lure them through Facebook page back in the early days of Facebook. And it's very funny to me that many girls still get lured using Facebook and other social media platforms. And these cases, they play themselves out in the public. And I don't understand. How do you trust anybody who wants to take you out that you met on social media? The risk that you guys are taking. Can you stop it? I know even on the street, they are not written on the forehead that they are safe. Just trust nobody. Love them all, trust nobody. That's all I'm going to say. So he used to lure girls that were potential models or girls that wanted to be models. And he would organize what you call this thingamajig venues that are prestigious, beautiful, and make it look as if indeed he was a modeling agent that takes them to these exotic places wherever he goes to. While the girls are busy changing for a photo shoot, he will then rob them. Yeah, he will take their phones, he will take their laptops, and any valuable thing that he finds in the purse of the girl. And then after that, he would take them to the hotel where he is filming or meeting these women, and then he will force himself onto them. Yeah, he would do that. So there was a girl that he got into a relationship with. They decided to go to Cape Town together for whatever reason. And in Cape Town, in an Airbnb, he had a fight with her, allegedly, and then unalived her, and then left her there and ran back to Johannesburg. Well, he says he felt guilty, he handed himself over, and And then he was sentenced for forcing himself onto women and also for unaliving that girl. I believe he was sentenced to 65 years in prison. 10 years of those 65 were shaven off, leaving 55 years in prison. So he was housed in Mangaung Maximum Prison, where around the 22nd of April 2022, he devised a plan with one of the girls that he once dated when he was a free man by the name of Nandipha Magudumana, who was at the time when they were dating as a free man, at the same time scamming girls and forcing himself onto them. She was a medical doctor at Wits Medical School. So she graduated, and for some reason, they reconnected when he was now serving 55 years in prison, and their romance sparked again, came back together. And from what we understand, and the power that Thabo Bester had garnered himself in the Mangaung prison, so much so that he was even allowed, allegedly, to leave the prison and go to some lodge with Dr. Nandipha Magudumana to have his conjugal visits from outside the prison. Anyways, all these allegations, by the way, still needs to be proven by law and beyond a reasonable doubt that indeed that happened. But some people say, yep, it did happen. And now he also managed to get the prison wardens by there. So much so that they even gave him some few requests that he had. One of them was a laptop. I mean, I don't have to play you all these things that he used to do on the laptop. One of them, it's cringeworthy to watch his birthday. How he made so many people fools. And when you look at these people or the caliber of people, you're like, okay, I get it. But okay. Thabo Bester really, that part is the one that kills me the most. His birthday. That video is hilarious. But anyways, so clearly there was a plan that was being devised for him to be completely free because clearly Dr. Nandipha Makutumana was stigmatized by Thabo Bester. And you have to ask yourself, a whole medical doctor gets fooled by a primary school dropout, but very intelligent too, I must say. Yeah, I know many of us don't want to admit that. You know, he's intelligent, period. To pull something like this and other stuff that he's done in the past, you need to have a very high IQ for that. So now one has to ask oneself, what drove a medical doctor, people that are considered to be intelligent, critical thinking, and question things? It has to be one thing that is on Thabo Bester, that when he is done, he zips up. It has to be. There's no any other explanation for me to come to a conclusion. I don't know, maybe you can tell me, but to me, yes, my mind just goes to the gutters when it comes to situations like this, especially when, yeah. Mm? Anyways, let's go back to the court appearance today. So the court appearance today was all about a pre-trial hearing. That's what the set down was about. But I think this is probably the third or fourth or fifth judge that has sat in this matter in that same high court. And now there's a new judge. And this judge seems like she does not want to she doesn't want the trial to delay in any way. So she says, I do not want to deal with uncertainties. And uncertainties indeed are riddled in this case. One of the uncertainty is Dr. Nandipha Makutumana. You know, Dr. Nandipha Makutumana, what did she do? She is challenging her extradition, which she calls it a kidnapping. And she's applied in the Bloemfontein High Court. And the judge said, well, you did not scream and kick. So she lost. Then she took the matter on appeal at the Supreme Court of Appeal. The Supreme Court of Appeal was like, well, you did not hire a lawyer in Tanzania to facilitate your extradition, so you volunteered yourself. And she's now going to the apex court of the country, which is the constitutional court, where she's made an application that my extradition was unconstitutional. They did not follow the international laws under extradition. And I feel like I was kidnapped. And I feel like, to be honest, she might actually get this one. She might bag this one. That is if the constitutional court access is viable for her. If it's not, well, that's it. She's done. And she has to go back to the High Court and be an accused and go through her trial and all the stuff that she needs to do in defending herself, that she was not involved in fraud, corruption, violating a corpse, because only a doctor can sign off a corpse or get a corpse from somewhere where they put it in Thabo Bester's cell on that day when he escaped. So also, they are going through charges of aiding and abetting the escape of Thabo Bester and also defeating the ends of justice. Those are the charges that they are facing. But Today, the state also stood up and said, hey, listen, we would like to withdraw charges against Mr. Motonyane Masukela. Yeah, this guy. Yeah, charges were dropped. The state does not have sufficient evidence against him, and this makes him the second accused in this matter to be acquitted of this matter. Remember, Miss Jansen, the one we all said, that one, she doesn't even look like she understands what is happening. And she didn't because she was not involved. We were like, there is no way. And indeed, the state saw the same thing and she was let gone. Even though behind the scenes, the poor lady is going through it with the state. Through it. Well, I don't know now how things are, but she's I would say borderline harassment. But anyways, that's not the point of this video. Let's go back to Mr. Masugela. Mr. Masugela is a free man, and he walked out a free man because the state withdrew the charges against him. And the second thing that was a highlight in today's appearance is Mr. Sereke. That this is Dr. Nandipha Makutumana's father, who stood up and made an application for a state lawyer. He's like, I cannot afford a private lawyer. I don't have the funds to pay him or her. And unfortunately, the court denied that application. He immediately appealed the decision. Now, if you look, I'm sorry, the kids just disturbed me. So if you look at the Constitution, once again, we'll go to Section 35 of the Constitution, a fair trial, and also the same provision of the Constitution talks about every accused person has a right to legal representation. If they can afford one for themselves, well, great. If they cannot afford one, then the state will provide one for him. So based on that provision of the Constitution, I think he might actually win the appeal on those bases. Remember, the Constitution of the Republic is the supreme law of the land, so it also supersedes what a judge might decide, because the judge just thought, hey, you look like you're a rich man, or at least comfortable enough to be able to pay yourself a private lawyer. And he's like, I don't have the funds. I don't have it. So he appealed. So I think his appeal will go through, succeed, because of Section 35 of the Constitution, for him to have a fair trial and his right to legal representation. Right? Right. Okay. So that was a highlight as well in this whole matter. And then now, Dr. Nandipha Makutumana, everybody was like, girl, you're still beautiful, but your beauty is fading. And I'm like, guys, come on. Come on. Why are we so shallow? I'm just saying it as well because I'm trying to understand the shallowness. But anyways, I will leave it right here. And Thabo Bester today was quiet. He was quiet. I thought he was going to take his chance with the new judge like he did with the previous one, where he made an application to have some resources given to him, like clothes, his food, the type of food that he needs, because he struggles with diabetes. He also cried about a laptop because he's going to be representing himself in the trial, while we've seen the number of lawyers that he has hired and fired. And now everybody, when they heard the word laptop, and then suddenly those pictures of his birthday comes across your mind like, So nobody kind of like trusts that he wants to use the laptop to research case laws for his defense in this matter. And I'm still asking a question as well about the legitimacy of everything, considering that he did not have an identity document. But that's just me. Don't challenge me on it. It's just me. It just runs across my mind, these sort of things. And I would like to hear how all of that is going to be dealt with in court. Because when the judges are going to be hearing this matter, they are going to question it too, I think. That's just me. That's just me. So, of course, the matter was postponed because, of course, this judge says she does not want uncertainties. The first uncertainty is Dr. Nandipha Makutumana's father and the appeal that he launched regarding his legal representation because he wants a state lawyer. And the second one, Dr. Nandipha Makutumana, who has made an application to the almost a Supreme Court of Appeal, to the Constitutional Court where she is challenging her extradition. And I think she's now going to fight it on the grounds of constitutionality and international law, which, of course, are enshrined in our Constitution. So that's another thing that I guess we're going to have to wait for. Whether she's going to get access to the Constitutional Court, I don't know. Or when she gets the access, when is that hearing going to take place and the judgment before the trial actually begins? So, what this judge did then, she postponed the matter until the 19th of September 2025, basically, I guess, to see if they can actually start the trial on the 5th of November 2025. Well, I don't think they're going to start on time. I think this trial is going to start in 2026, my prediction. I think there's going to be more postponements until 2026 because, again, you still have to wait for the Constitutional Court. And if Dr. Nandipha Makutumana's father is he's denied this, he's probably going to take it to the Supreme Court of Appeal regarding his constitutional right for legal representation. I don't know. We'll see. So all these uncertainties need to be ironed out. And I know there are people who are going to say, she's no longer a doctor. She's always a doctor. You remember, a doctor is not just practicing, it's the qualification. She went through medical school, graduated as a doctor. Her profession is doctor. So you can't take away that title away from her, unfortunately. Yes, you can strike her off the roll of doctors, but her title, or when they say, how does it go? How does it go in the application form? Title. I think it does not. She puts doctor, not Miss or Mrs. It's doctor. Yeah. So that is if you want to come for me, like, she's not a doctor. Once a doctor, always a doctor, as long as you went through the process to get to that point. I'm not talking about an honorary doctor, Rebecca Malove. We're talking about qualifications type of situation. And that, guys, that is what happened in Bloemfontein High Court today with Dr. Nandipha Makutumana and Thabo Bester's appearance. Thabo Bester looking a bit like a mafia. That was very interesting. The drama in this matter is entertaining. It's quite entertaining. But it was interesting to check after the Senzo Meiwa stuff. Anyways, guys, we shall see each other tonight at 10. And thank you all so much. Please don't leave this video without liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. And I'll see you next time. Later, actually. Goodbye.